Hey guys, we're back. Listen, child, the weather out here in Charlotte is so fucking delicious. Like it is raining and all this other shit. Like, oh my goodness. Like delicious, delicious. My type of weather. My type of weather. Cause I fucks with the cold. Anyway, we finna get into this. So this is Star Episode 7 Karma. So we're already, I think, an episode or two episodes in until the fall finale. Ugh. And then we'll get another episode for 2 weeks since next week is Thanksgiving. But whatever. That's a nice break for me anyway. But anywho, let's get into this. So we start the episode off, with Cassie getting Karma raided by the SWAT team and whatnot. But we end up getting a 23-hour time jump earlier from the situation where we see her and Xander, still fucking around and whatnot. And at this point, sorry if I... Bear with me if I get through this video looking down. I'm just trying to make sure that I go through my notes and stuff like that, because trying to get my notes while this episode was trash. But anywho, they hanging around, and we see this dude coming in, letting Xander know that he's getting awarded for his help in the community. Get your words right. In the community for his duties with the community and stuff like that, that's going to be held at this gala event down in Atlanta and shit like that. And at this point, Cassie is in her feelings because she's the side chick and he's still with his wife and he lied to her and all this other stuff and womp, womp, womp. And I'm just sitting here like, girl, you should have known from the jump that this man ain't shit. But you still with him, so it is what it is. Then he decided to give your dumbass an engagement ring. And I'm sitting here like, are you fucking kidding me? I can't. I cannot. I can't. So then we get Star and Jackson. They at the store buying shit for the baby and stuff like that. And Star ends up being greedy and starts buying all these candies and stuff like that for herself, which is normal for most women to deal with when they're going through a lot of stress and they tend to eat a lot and stuff like that. I would understand that too, because I do the same thing when I'm stressed and upset. So then we get this moment where she sees this lady with this mother who has her daughter, where she's unable to pay for their groceries and stuff like that. So that kind of, warmed Star's heart for a second, and she decided to give half of her money to them. And this causes Star to confess to Jackson that she's afraid that she might end up being alone and having nobody having her back, raising her and Jackson's child. So at that point, throughout this whole episode with Star and Jackson, Jackson wants Star to move in. She keeps putting him away and all this other shit. He gets over it. He becomes over it near the end of the episode. And by the end of the episode, bitch, Star and Jackson, they end up moving in together, and they start fucking playing Genuine's Pony, and they end up ponying on the middle of the goddamn living room, and I'm sitting here like, what in the fuck? Girl, fuck this whole storyline. Fuck their whole storyline. I don't even give a fuck no more. I'm already mad as shit that they chose Jackson, of all people, to be the baby daddy. I don't give a shit about this whole storyline. Fuck this storyline. Fuck it. So we get Alex, who's still pissed about the picture that she saw from last week's episode of Derek and the Mystery Girl. And, they go back and forth, and Derek doesn't come clean because he made a solemn promise, which was part of the investigation, that he wasn't going to expose the situation between him and her. So it's very, very hard for Derek to even explain himself without breaking moral code. but also without breaking Alex's heart. But eventually, we already see where this is going. Just almost 15 minutes into the episode. So there's that. And this ends up causing Alex to go through a panic attack. And it's just, it's crazy. So then we get Noah, he's working on the track. And Maurice walks in, and at that point, Noah quickly just lets it out that, him and Megan are all to the good and that they can go ahead and get the awkwardness out. So Maurice decides to go ahead and let Noah know that at the end of the day, he still hasn't made any hits and he's lacking in, productivity within the music label, and that he needs to get his act together, otherwise he will be replaced. Noah clearly wasn't here for it, but it is what it is. Then he gets a text. Then he gets a text from this random bitch out of nowhere. And later in the episode, we see that he gets bum rushed by this fake ass bitch that just came out of nowhere accusing him of sexual abuse, saying that, oh, by the way, your tongue game is whack. And I'm sitting here like, girl, what the fuck is wrong with you? Nasty. No way. But I do appreciate the episode, trying to convey the overall message about the negative aspects of social media and how social media not necessarily negative, but how social media plays a huge part in people's lives and people's businesses and livelihoods. So I mostly caught on to the message of the episode from there. So there's that. So then, moving on from that, we get the girls meeting up with Maurice about gaining social media attention, and we get fucking Drea Michelle from Basketball Wives. I said, girl, nice to see you back on TV, huh? So Drea plays this socialite named Chloe Davis, who's trying to film Noah to help promote him of being the headliner for the Rhythm and Bells event. And when Chloe goes on ahead and films Maurice to help promote the event, he pretty much makes Noah the headliner and everybody else is just the remaining stars. So this, of course, leaves the girls pissed as usual. So later they plan to get Chloe to help promote them, and they pretty much try to convince her otherwise, and it succeeds, and that she hopes that they will be able to come up with something later on. So then we move back into motherfucking Cassie. Bitch, she drops by to Xander to confront him about the ring and him being the side bitch and all this other stuff again. And Xander has to let her know that pretty much the rat issue is not handled, and that the popo hoes are still on the tracks. And all this other stuff. So they get back and forth. And then they start kissing. I'm sitting here like, and then he starts proposing, and I'm just like, bitch, go to the next scene. Go to the fucking next scene. Like, seriously, just go to the next scene. I cannot. Whew. So meanwhile, we get Derek, who is in the middle of trying to figure out, where they're gonna find the dude that did his thing to Miss Ruby and stuff like that. And him and the mystery girl ends up discussing their plans of what they're gonna do. And the plan is that Derek is gonna go in and apply for a job at Karma, since the perp that they're looking for is connected to to Karma. So he needs to go in and apply for a job so that so that he could be able to get closer into the club to find out who it is. So throughout that time, he eventually gets close into meeting up with Cassie to apply for a job, but she doesn't give him off too easily. Then we get this scene later on where he meets up with Mike, and they end up becoming cool for a minute, and he tries to apply for a job, and Mike proposes that he would be able to, go through and have him be tested on something to see if he can be able to be qualified for whatever he's trying to do. But I already know right off the bat that Mike is not too convinced off of what Derek is up to, since lately he's been catching both him and the mystery girl on his tail throughout the most of the time, and I can tell that he's already figuring out that something is up. So later the girls, they're trying to focus on recording, and they plan to record a new song, and they're going through too much personal issues to even stay focused. Alex is still dealing with her speculations of Noah cheating behind her back. Then Star's dealing with her complications with Jackson or whatever. And all this other shit, whoop-de-da. So then we get Noah, where he is promoting himself for Chloe, and then that's when, he gets interrogated by the bitch over their one-night stand. So when he confronts Maurice about it, they argue over the situation that Maurice is tired of waiting on Noah to do something, and that he's being replaced by Lil what is it? Kiko, whoever that corny ass rapper was from the last week's episode, he's replacing him with him. So this pisses Noah off, and he's pretty much just not here for it. So then we get Cassie, she's dealing with personal issues of being a side chick and whatnot when she wants to be a wife, and she ends up thinking about it. So then Xander comes in after Cassie performs, and he figures that Cotton might be the issue of why they're getting issues with the cops, or that Cotton might have something to do with it. But Cassie lets him know that she doesn't believe that, but she'll promise that she'll keep her under control if things get out of hand, if Cotton has anything to do with it. So I'm just sitting here like, oh, girl, y'all better not do nothing to Cotton, y'all better not do nothing to her, cause child, it's a lot. It's really a lot. So then we get Maurice meeting up with little Keanu, whoever the fuck he was, headline for the performance. And then Noah and Megan confronts him about the situation at hand. And then they pull up the TV showing that the girl who was accusing Noah is out here pressing charges on him, which causes Noah to blow up and throw a remote at the TV screen, breaking it. Not a good move. So then the girls are pissed about the news of Noah and how they feel like that Noah is gaining all the attention even though he's not making any hits. And Cassie confronts Cotton about snitching, and Maurice already figured that at that point Xander has something to do with Cassie's behavior at this point. And Cassie tries to defend this man, but clearly no one's here for it, since Miss Bruce already revealed in front of the girls that Xander and her were in a relationship, and it was very abusive from his end. So that causes Star to have a soft spot for Cassie, since she can relate with her and Hunter. So she stopped by Cassie's office to let her know that at the end of the day, you gotta learn how to stand up for yourself and be a woman and just get the fuck out. But clearly she ain't gonna do that. So then we get Alex in the studio working on some music, but Carrie. Bitch, I am tired, but we're gonna get to this. So Alex is in the studio, she's working on some music, but she can't seem to get it together since she's still fucking around trying to figure out if Derek's cheating on her or not. And Simone comes in checking up on her, and Alex confesses the situation, and Simone prompts her to go over to Karma and find out what's going on. So later at Karma, Derek reports that there is drugs coming in and out of the club with the mystery girl, and they pretend to make out when Mike shows up, and then when he leaves, they continue to pull on the facade to kind of fit in with the crowd, and that's when Alex walks in on them and she storms off. I'm like, girl, get the fuck over it. So Maurice and Megan, they in the office, they going back and forth about the whole situation with how Maurice is still in his feelings that Noah might be interfering with his chances of getting back with Megan, but Megan's not here for it because every time she looks at him, she thinks of their dead child and all this other stuff, and that she just needs to move on and that he needs to allow her to move on. And then Noah walks in, hoping that he could try to apologize for his blow up, and then Megan accepts his apology, and Maurice chimes in to help expose the fake bitch for lying on Noah, and Noah comes in with Chloe to help prove that the news was fake. So that gives the girls the perfect opportunity to come up with a way to help promote their brand and their album. So they put up this fake front to gain some attention by acting like that they're supposed to be fighting or whatever. But of course, all three of them take that shit too seriously to the point where it's not even an act anymore. So at that point, Simone takes it too far, exposing Star, pushing away everyone, and then Alex takes it too far. Like, it was just a mess. So then we get Cassie we get back to the beginning of the episode with Cassie getting raided. So she was able to get out of there before the cops could even acknowledge that somebody was in there. So she heads over to the gala event to confront Xander about him lying again and the fact that they got raided. So this causes Xander to pretty much have an anxiety attack and just spill his own beans about the situation that he has been using large amount of money and drugs to help keep Karma going, and this blows Cassie away. And I'm sitting here like, Cassie, at the end of the day, you should have known this. You should have known that this was going to happen. You should have known that this man was literally going to use a lot more than just the small drug money that y'all made to keep up that big ass club that y'all had for a couple of weeks. Like, girl, come the fuck on now. You should that should have already clicked in your motherfucking head that what was gonna happen. Like, come on now, Cassie, get your shit together. Like, get your shit together. So then he goes and lets her know that he's trying to file a divorce for his wife so that he can marry Cassie. And if things go well, then they'll be fine. And if not, then he was hoping that she would be able to take the fall. And that's when she decided to go ahead and let him go after she done bitch slapped his ass. So at that point, we get to the next scene with Alex coming home to confront Derek about him and the mystery girl. And at this point, this was a very intensely hard scene to watch because it's like, I understand the situation at hand and how complicated it is for Derek to even confess to Alex about what is going on and all the shit that's really going on between him and the mystery girl and what he's trying to do for Miss Ruby and all this other stuff. But at the end of the day, he has to do what he has to do, and he kept his mouth shut and causes Alex to run off to the studio to Simone to pretty much have a little sob story with her and all this other shit. And Simone starts crying, and she was about to start spilling some beans of her own until Star walks in, celebrating the fact that that their acting video got viral, and at this point, the girls have like a sentimental moment with each other, contemplating on the situation that this is really about to be their last fucking album, and that they're thinking about breaking up and that they're not going to be together as a group anymore. And this causes all of them to have a moment together and all this other shit. And it's cute. It was a cute moment. So they go on ahead and they plan to do the Goodbye album and go hard at it. And they start performing the track. Meanwhile, before all of that, we had this quick scene, with Jackson, coming over to Star's new home, and that she wants to pretty much let him move in with her so that they can be able to be one big happy family and be the bootleg version of the Brady Bunch and shit like that. And I'm just like, girl, bye. So then we get, of course, the overall montage of the episode with, we get this scene with the mystery girl trying to call Derek, and as soon as she tries to get a hold of him, out of nowhere, she gets killed by Mike, since he knew that her and Derek were trying to rat him out, and since they was getting suspicious throughout the whole episode. See, I told you that Mike was literally onto something with them two. I knew he was onto something. Then we get Cassie, putting away the ring and all this other shit, and she heads over to the police station and turns herself in. And I said, girl, whatever, you still gonna take the fall for this nigga regardless, so I don't even know what the problem was. And then we get this scene, with Megan and Noah, they just chilling out and just walking down the street and whatnot, and they get assaulted by this guy that just came out of nowhere and puts a gun behind Noah's head, talking about some shut your ass up. And I'm sitting here like, what the fuck is going on? And at this point, the guy pretty much like hits Noah to the ground with the gun, and he pretty much threatens Noah's life with the gun. And I'm sitting here like, bro, what the fuck is happening? Like, what he finna do? Like, what happened? What's gonna happen to Megan? Like, what's gonna happen to Noah? Like, what is going on? Like, who is this dude? Like, what is going on? But yeah, overall, this episode wasn't much. It was, just some good tea and some good trash. But yeah, that was the episode. Y'all tell me how y'all feel, and I will see you guys in 2 weeks. Because, again, it's Thanksgiving next week, so y'all already know Fox ain't really going to be showing a lot of the TV shows during the major holidays. Y'all already know how Fox is, so I will see you guys again in 2 weeks. So don't expect a star review next Wednesday. Bye.